Students, myself SVS, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to start the second part of the lesson, the 100 dresses, written by Bsor, Ester. In the last class, we have discussed that Vanda had drawn such a marvelous paintings and the whole school was admiring her. Here in this lesson, we are going to see why was she absent in the school. We are going to see the reason that is revealed here. What was the reason for her absence from the school? So let us continue. While the class was circling the room, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note. You see that all the students were circling in the room. Why were they circling? Okay, why were circling the room? They were moving around the room. Why? Because they were looking at the pictures. So while they were looking at the pictures, immediately the monitor brought a note, a letter from the principal's office and handed over to Miss Mason. Miss Mason read it several times and studied it thoroughly for a while. Miss Mason immediately she started reading this letter, this note. She read it several times and she read it very thoroughly. Okay, very keenly. Then she clapped her hands. Once she stopped reading it, she clapped her hands. Then informed the students, "Attention class. Oh dear students, attention please. All of you go back to your seats. Occupy your seats." When the shuffling of feet had stopped and the room was still and quiet, Miss Mason said, "So when the shuffling means moving up the feet lightly. Shuffling of feet. That means when the students occupied the seats, they sat on their seats, then she said, "I have a letter from Vanda's father and I want to read you. See here, I have a letter. I got a letter from Vanda's father. Now I want to read that letter to you." Miss Mason stood there a moment and the silence in the room grew tense and expectant. And Miss Mason, just afterwards she did not start to read the letter. She stopped there for a while and she stood there for a moment. And you see that the silence in the room grew more tense and expectant. As she did not read the letter, immediately all became tense now. All became expectant. That means they are having an excited feeling that something is going to happen there. The teacher adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately. The teacher then she adjusted her glasses very slowly and intently or consciously. Deliberately she has done. Her manner indicated that was coming. And the manner that itself, it indicated that something important that is there in the note. So that note or the letter is very important. There is something important written in the letter. This letter from Vanda's father was a matter of great importance. So students understood that this letter from Vanda, it is written by Vanda's father and there is some message, very important message is there in the letter. Everybody listened closely as Miss Mason read the brief note. And when she started to read that short note, brief note, all of them, they listened it very keenly or very closely. Dear teacher. So the letter was addressed to Miss Mason. Dear teacher, my Vanda will not come to your school anymore. So it was written, my daughter Vanda is not coming to school. She is not coming to your school anymore. Jack also, not only Vanda, her brother Jack, both of them won't be coming to the school, anymore. Now we move away to big city. And he informed that they were going to, migrate to big city. Why? No more holler polak. Holler means loud shout. There nobody is going to shout loudly, polok, polok. Nobody is going to cry out polok. Nobody is going to tease Wanda Petrovsky. No more ask why funny name. There nobody is going to ask why do you have this funny name. Nobody will question. Plenty of funny names in the big city. You see that in big cities, so many students, a lot of students studies with such strange names, funny names. So there won't be any question. So he had written that he was taking his children to the big city as his children were teased in the school. Yours truly, Jan Petrovsky, that was his name. A deep silence met the reading of this letter. And after hearing this news, after hearing what was written in the letter, there was such a dead silence in the classroom. That means all the students, they were left speechless. They had nothing to say. Miss Mason took off her glasses, then blew on them and wiped them on her soft white handkerchief. Then she put them on again and looked at the class. Miss Mason, she took her glass, blew on them, then wiped it with a handkerchief. Then afterwards, she put the glass again. Thereafter, yes, she started looking all the students. When she spoke, her voice was very low. Then when she started to speak, you see that her voice was very low. Why? Because she was really sad. She was really disappointed. I am sure that none of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings because his or her name happened to be a long, unfamiliar one. I am very sure that, I am certain that none of my students from this class, room number 13, would purposefully or deliberately, intentionally or consciously hurt anybody because that students, that maybe he or she, that student's name is too long or funny. That I am very much sure. So I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. But I would like to think that if anybody said something that was said thoughtlessness because of, or we can say said in thoughtlessness, said in carelessness, or without thinking properly, without a proper thought. If anybody said something to someone, so that means that was said without thinking properly. I know that all of you feel the way I do. I know very well that you dear students, all of you are feeling the same way what I think. That this is a very unfortunate thing to have happened. You see that I consider this as really an unfortunate thing that happened. It should not have happened. I think that it is not only unfortunate but sad also. Both unfortunate and sad. And I want you all to think about it. Dear students, I want all of you to think about it. All of you to introspect it. Whether you have done right or wrong, you think yourself. Whether you have done the right thing or a wrong thing. You introspect it. The first period was a study period. See, the first period, that was a study period. So all the students, you see that they were busy with their studies. But Maddie tried to prepare her lessons. What did Maddie do? She was trying to prepare her lessons. But she could not put her mind on her work. Put her mind on work. That means she could not concentrate on her work. Even though Maddie tried to study hard, she could not concentrate on her work. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her stomach. You see that Maddie had a very bad feeling. She was really disgusted. She was really angry. Whatever the things happened, she was not at all happy. True, she had not enjoyed listening to Peggy ask Wanda how many dresses she had in her closet. But she had said nothing. But you see that whenever Peggy asked Wanda how many dresses she had in her closet, yes, Maddie was there. Maddie was along with Peggy. But she had never teased her. She had never uttered a word. But at the same time, she did not try to stop her also. As a friend, she should have tried to, stop her from this game. Had said nothing. She had stood by silently. What did she do? She stood by the side of Peggy silently. And that was just as bad as what Peggy had done. She thought that her activity is same bad as what Peggy had done, maybe worse than that. In a little extent, that was worse than Peggy's action. She should have stopped Peggy from this. She was coward. Why didn't she do that? Because she was coward. She did not have the courage to do it. She did not have the courage to oppose her friend Peggy or prevent her friend Peggy from that. At least Peggy had not considered they were being mean. But you see that Peggy never considered that whatever she was doing that was mean. That was a bad act or a bad work. Or Peggy's intention, one way we can say that Peggy's intention was not to hurt Wanda. And she did not think that whatever she was doing that was wrong or bad. But Maddie had thought they were doing wrong. But in the case of Maddie, she thought that they were doing a bad thing. It should not have been done. It should not be done such a way. It should not be behaved. She could put herself in Wanda's shoes. And Maddie could put herself in Wanda's shoes. That means Maddie could put herself in the place of Wanda and could understand the feeling of Wanda. Maddie could do that. Goodness, was not there anything she could do? And she started to think, oh my God, could I do anything else? Is there any chance to repent? Okay, can I do anything? Yes, to confess. If only she could tell Wanda she had not meant to hurt her feelings. If only that means she wished that she could tell Wanda she had not meant to hurt her feelings. She wanted to tell, she wished that she wanted to meet Wanda and tell her that she did not have any intention to hurt her. She never thought of hurting her or hurt her feelings. She turned around and stole a glance at Peggy. Now sitting in the class, she turned around and stole a glance. That means she looked stealthily or secretly at Peggy. But Peggy did not look up. But Peggy, you see that she was doing her work. She did not look up. She did not look, Maddie. She seemed to be studying hard. It seemed that she was doing her studies very well. Okay. Well, whether Peggy felt badly or not, Maddie had to do something. Then Maddie thought, Peggy felt bad or not, I don't know. She thought, but I am going to do something. Okay, I am going to do something for what I had done to Wanda. Then such a way Maddie thought. And something, she had to find Wanda Petrosky. So Maddie thought, anyhow, she wanted to go and find Wanda Petrosky. Not only find out her, maybe she had not yet moved away. She thought that still now she would be at her home. She would be at the top of the hill. So she thought of going there and meeting Wanda Petrosky, because she expected that she would not have gone from there or moved away from there. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her. At the same time, she expected that her friend also would join with her. And she also would go with Maddie to meet Wanda. And they would tell Wanda she had won the contest. After reaching there, she would inform her, hey, Wanda, you had won the contest. You had won the competition. That they thought she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. And she could tell her, okay, that she had won the contest. And not only that, she had drawn the pictures very well. They wanted to appreciate her, admire her, and she had done very well, and all her 100 dresses were very beautiful. And this way Maddie thought. So Maddie expected to, yes, go to the top of the hill and meet Wanda Petrosky and tell her or inform her that she was sorry for whatever happened earlier. Dear students, I hope all of you understood this part very well. So we will discuss the next part in our next session. So thank you for watching it. Please subscribe and like my channel. Thank you very much.